What if I told you there's a simple movement that we do every day when done correctly can decrease your chance of injury and help young athletes improve performance, but without using any equipment? Are you ready to find out what it is? Let's go.
Everyone, David Edwards here with the Developing Young Athletes Network that we call Network Nation. Today I want to go over a simple movement that we do all the time, and it's called a squat. Now think about it. We do this movement getting in and out of a car, getting in and out of a chair, and athletes do it all the time during practice training in the positions of play. Jump ball in a basketball game, or a spike in a volleyball, or a catcher in a squat position in baseball. However, most of us do not realize that we're doing this simple movement incorrectly and therefore cannot take advantage of the benefit that it offers. If any movement of the squat is done inefficiently, this can increase the chance of injury. So before we begin doing the squat movement, let's first learn how to screen or test the way the athlete does a squat to make sure their areas of weakness or mobility issues are addressed. And at the end, I'll point out some common mistakes that athletes make while performing a squat. Are you ready? Let's go take a look. What's up, everyone? Today I have with me again Coach L. She's going to help us with this today, the squat, a screen, something that you can look for to see where function is. It's a great thing to look at for athletes of all ages. Keep this in mind. You want to videotape this because we want to see where they are, where there could be some inefficiencies. What we're going to do today is we're going to show you from an anterior front view and also from a lateral, a side view. We're going to show you mobility, stability is what you're looking for through range with control. Remember that. What I always like to start off with is we're going to have the athlete, L's going to show us, you want them shoulders width apart with their feet. And with anatomical positioning of the hips, it can vary some. There can be a little bit of external rotation of the foot. I always say around 10, 15 degrees because, again, anatomically, we're different the way our bodies are built, especially in the hips. So what we want to look at here first is her going into a squat for us. And what I'm looking for here, go a good 2 to 3 for us. Look at her range of control going deep into it. Fluid coming up and down, efficient movement. What I'm looking for at the foot is looking at her toe all the way around the rim of her foot. She's creating an arch, putting the pressure there. We're looking at how her knee is in alignment with her ankle and her hips. Arms are parallel to the ground. She's looking straight ahead. Her chest is upright. She's in that position where she has a flat back and come up for us. That was good, efficient range of motion functionality, what I'm looking for there. Now she's going to show us another squat, but we're going to show you something that sometimes happens with athletes with this. As she's going into it, the knees start to collapse in. You might notice this, so the knees are a little bit wobbly. Have you come back out of that? That's there, that valgus position, that knee collapse. They call it knock knees sometimes. This is where injuries occur. I want you to think about something here. Imagine that she was playing basketball and she was going up for a rebound and she landed with those type of mechanics. This is why this is important. We can screen this now. Because if I'm seeing it here, not to say when she's doing those type of functional patterns that are more high level, that it'll be there. But guess what? If you didn't catch it here and you were looking on a court not knowing what to look for, that's when injuries occur. So that's why we want to address it here. So that's something there. If you have it on video, we have some videos that I'll have on our site. When you go to our YouTube, that'll point some things for corrective exercises for it, but that's why I want you to video it in the beginning. So now let's look at it from a lateral view to look at the functional movement of the squat. Now we're going to look from a lateral view because we want to make sure that a couple of things are really important. Like I said before, through functional range of motion, there's control, motor stability, motor control, mobility stability. Just remember that. So first thing we want to do is we want to look at the functional. We're going to look at our Coach L going through the range with control. Go ahead for us. We'll consider it a good squat. Come back up, do a good 2 to 3 for us. What you're noticing is she's had good range of motion, good control through the squat. Come back up for us. I'm going to have her go down and hold that position. Go deep for us and hold. What I'm looking for here is that she has, look at her foot contact to the ground. I'm also looking at her thighs should at least be parallel to the ground. I'm also looking at her back. She has a flat back. If I look from her ear to her shoulder to her hip, there's a straight line. She's neutral with her neck. She's looking over the horizon. Her arms are parallel to the ground. Come on out of that squat for us. That's what I consider a good squat. Here's something to remember also. Sometimes you hear people say, well, I want them to go really deep into that squat. Yes and no, and this is why I say that. You at least want parallel to the ground with the thigh. If they can't control that deeper squat, why would you go deeper if they can't control it? You want quality control through that range. So just because they go deep and they don't have control, you want to monitor that. You want to screen that. You want to get pictures of that. Because sometimes coaches say, hey, they can go deeper, but if they're dropping below that parallel angle and they're just plopping like I call it sometimes where kids are just no control with that. That's something that we want to look for. The next thing I want to do here is we're going to show you this. We want to look at some of the common mistakes that we sometimes see with athletes is we're going to go into that squat and sometimes they'll lift their heels. You want to look for that here and come on out of that for us. Sometimes that can be ankle mobility, flexibility. A lot of times with young athletes, it might be some flexibility, some stretching. We'll have that on our YouTube channel, some stretches there that can help with it. The other thing you want to look for is a shallow squat. Sometimes they'll go and they're not going deep enough with that squat. Come on up out of that for us. What you want to teach your cue there is to reach back more with the hips. Can you get deeper in that squat with control? Looking for them at least go parallel to the ground or get their hip, the seam of their hips, at least to that point that's at the knee or below the knee. Show us that again, going deeper into it for everyone. Where we're getting that seam at least here or deeper. Come on back up out of it. The other thing that we sometimes see is this. Sometimes lack of posture or control through the trunk area. So she's going into that squat, she might lean forward more. We want to look for that as well. Come on back up out of it. Sometimes that can just be motor control, curing neuromuscular development there. And those are things that we'll look on in some additional videos we'll bring to you on helping with corrective exercises. So remember, quality over quantity. As far as the exercise routine with this, it's not an exercise, it's a screen. So you want to be 3 sets of 10 with quality control. I call it up to technical error. When they're making a mistake, when the quality is not there, then stop, because we want quality over quantity. Well, that's it, everyone. A squat, a screen. Looking for inefficiency with movement. And do this also. You want the athlete to do it on their own movement pattern with the squat. But what you can do is this. Do it for them to show them, but don't explain to them what to do, because you're looking for their natural pattern of movement, things you can correct. Like I told you earlier, also exercises. The reason I gave you those tips is once they learn that squat position, that movement, now you want to teach them how to do that for exercise purpose, because now we're building that foundation of movement to carry over to other more explosive type of activities that deal with performance with sports and developing the athlete. So everyone, take care and we'll see you next time. And do this also, subscribe to the channel and also give us a thumbs up as we help the athlete develop together. Everyone, take care.